In this video, I'm going to be interviewing local filmmaker Adam Newman about his upcoming feature, Ice Patrol. What's up, everyone? My name is Ryan, taking you all on my journey to become a filmmaker. I got a chance to sit down with director Adam Newman the other day, talking about a couple of his films that he has done, he's currently working on, the upcoming premiere for his film Ice Patrol, as well as some of the other projects he's got coming up. I actually worked with Adam on the production of Ice Patrol as a production assistant, and I gotta say, actually seeing the trailer for it when it finally came out, it was just like, oh, that looks so amazing. I'm so glad I got to be a part of this. But enough of me rambling, let's get straight to the interview. So Adam, I want to start off by saying, having rewatched the trailer last night, it is still just intense as the day you first uploaded. So let me start by asking this for on the off chance that someone comes across this interview that hasn't actually seen the trailer itself. What is Ice Patrol about?
So Ice Patrol is, I try to simplify it as, it's a story about a family who is kind of struggling to get by day to day, living up in Maine, and they end up taking in this woman that has been on the run, and what their lives become after that. So it's kind of this quiet family story in which this woman who just chanced upon a big sum of money comes to their house, and then the consequences that follow.
Sorry, I'm smirking. I'm just thinking that scene in the trailer was like, get the bag!
Yeah. There is the trailer is very, very tense. And obviously the trailer has got some good feedback, which we're really excited about, obviously. But we do want to emphasize that the movie does it's as you know, being a part of the production team, it is a quieter movie for the most part, though there are some explosions of anger and tension. So
yeah, although I've got to admit, it really did make me realize I now have a bit of a disconnect between working on a project and actually seeing the final result.
Absolutely.
Because between this and the series that I worked on, I'm not going to say what, like both experiences were definitely fun, and while the series was kind of a dumpster fire, but seeing the trailer for Ice Patrol was just like, wow. And like, what was your creative process behind it itself? Because like, I know you in the emails kind of leading up to the production, you had a few like kind of like personal philosophies about certain characters in relation to cinematography and whatnot. Would you like to kind of go into depth about how you decided upon that?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to talk about just in terms of why I did the project, I had just come from another project called Scarlett K, and it's as far the opposite direction as Ice Patrol. Ice Patrol being quiet, moody, grounded, and Scarlett K being out in left field, just absolutely crazy. Yeah, when you talk about the cinematography choices, I think that when it comes to what you're doing with your camera says so much about the story. We are working in a visual art form, right? People are looking at us right now, and they're reading us constantly. And my big thing was, once you've created the story, then you have to use your camera as punctuation, is kind of how I've always thought about it. So when you're talking about a situation about the cinematography, when I was talking through my emails, there's situations where I say, oh, X character cannot leave the frame. And that was a big thing because I wanted to make this feeling of the characters stuck in their world constantly. And when it comes to, I always think that you should only move your camera when it's motivated to move, and things like that. And then you start talking about the basics of color and what color means to people, and things like that. So my big thing was that I just wanted to use camera and camera movement constantly as punctuation, and especially in this movie. A movie that we do use a lot of stillness in. I wanted to make sure that we were having as balanced a frame as we possibly could. There's nothing wrong with a sloppy frame or a shaky camera as long as you have a reason for it. I think that the camera has to be driven by emotion ultimately. And so when I was thinking about what's the emotion of this movie, what is this movie about, what is this story about, I feel like organically it comes that, oh, this is where the camera has to be placed. And there are David Fincher always says there are 1,000 places you can put the camera, but all of them are wrong except one. And so it's constantly trying to figure out exactly where, why, and what lens and stuff like that, because everything about the camera can tell you something about the story or about the characters that are going through it.
Interesting. Going back to Scarlett K. K. How come you have not released a trailer for that?
Scarlett was one of those things where we were just trying to get it done, I think, which we did. And it was one of those things where trailers, I'm sure you know this too, trailers are difficult. You know, when it came to Ice Patrol was a 16 or 20 hour day, something like that, Chris and I ended up cutting it together, and you go through the entire movie, you have to watch the movie several times just to figure out every line that you think could fit in a trailer. And this is the same thing with Scarlett K. And the main reason that we did the Ice Patrol trailer is because we wanted to show it in front of Scarlett K when we premiered Scarlett K. So we wanted to make sure that people were getting excited about the next movie. And then after Scarlett K was done and we had premiered it, we immediately started shipping it out to festivals. So it was a situation where we haven't really had the time, and especially as we start rolling into finishing up Nomad and then rolling into our next project, it's kind of difficult to. I like that it's in the past now, and I don't think we'll ever have a trailer.
I honestly, I get that. It did take, for my short film, it's only like 6.5 minutes, and there's only like 2 lines of dialogue in the thing.
Yeah.
Even though the teaser was like 20 seconds, but it was still like one of those things was like, how do I even?
Yeah, you don't even have a foundation. Trailers are they're such a different beast. You know, when it comes to filming a movie, it's all about a mood over time, and a trailer is kind of the opposite. You don't have time, especially if you're going to do something for 6 minutes. So you better have a 20-second teaser. If you do a minute, that's almost your entire movie. So yeah, and then it's trying to find what lines are going to sell people, what's going to intrigue people, what it's going to, and that's kind of the same thing with the Ice Patrol trailer. When you go into it, you don't go in thinking like, oh, it's going to be this. You start picking up parts that you think might work, and then trying to form somewhat of a story around it, and trying to tease elements at the same time, not trying to give away elements. And so, yeah, it's a tough thing to do. And like you said, yeah, it's time consuming. Everything in this is time consuming, and so that's kind of why we didn't do it for Scarlett.
All right. So this question kind of, I think, applies to Scarlett K, Ice Patrol, Nomad, and any future projects. What's your plan for distribution?
I hate doing this because I don't typically have exact goals when it comes to distribution. When it came to Scarlett K, first of all, we viewed Scarlett K as an opportunity to learn. So I had just finished up with my past production company, and I didn't think that we were going in the places that I wanted to go. And so it became a study project. It became one where I was crewing. I don't want to say exclusively alone, because we had a lot of people working on that project, but it was learning on the fly. And so my thing was never, hey, we're going to get this movie distributed. This was, hey, we're going to learn, and at the same time, we're going to get it into festivals, and people are going to see it. That's always been my main thing. You always have to think, we want people to watch the movie. When it comes to Ice Patrol and Nomad, these are different. These are things that we have to think about going forward, without a doubt. As Ice Patrol is finishing up shortly, we're premiering on the 18th, and then Nomad, we're premiering on the 31st. I know that goal number one is to get them into festivals, mainly because we want to get more eyes on them, and then from there we'll kind of see where it goes. And the distribution of Nomad's a little bit different too, because Nomad is a 25-minute movie. It's not a 100-minute movie. So it's something that is stewing in the back of our minds, but at the same time, we're trying to take it like one day at a time with the production company at this point, and just trying to. Right now, we're working on our fundraiser for our next one. So.
Would you like to talk a little bit more about your next one then?
Sure. So we are doing a short film. It's called Carolina Shag, and it's as different a genre as the other ones have been, which is what we like. And it's kind of a bittersweet romance that is in a sci-fi universe, and it kind of leads into a Jackie Chan fight scene. So yeah, it should be entertaining. We are having a fundraiser on the 31st of July, which everybody is invited to. Tickets are purchasable on our website at butitdidhappenproductions.com/support. As you can tell, science fiction takes a little bit of money, so this is the first time that we're doing a a really conceited effort to get some funds so that we can take care of, first of all, building our set, which is going to be absolutely insane. We're building a space bar that's built into the side of a moon, and we're doing so inside of a wedding venue. So it should be really, really interesting to see how we pull it off. But it's a lot of fun if you want to think about in terms of tone and genre and stuff like that. It's kind of like Firefly meets Out of Sight meets the Hong Kong Jackie Chan movies. So yeah, it's a strange blend, but it's a really fun script, and we have some actors flying out from LA, and we have some coming from New York, and we have some crew from all over the place, and yeah, we're fairly excited about it, and hopefully we get enough people in our fundraiser. Plus, we have a golf tournament to raise some money as well in October, so it's pretty exciting.
I think that's all the questions I got. Adam, thank you for coming by and willing to do this interview with me.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, I hope you found that to be interesting. I'm planning on interviewing other filmmakers as time goes on, and if it's something you definitely want to see me do more of in the future, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, you can check out Adam Newman's website and Facebook page through links in the description, as well as my own Facebook page, Wandike Productions. And yeah, I guess that's about it. My name is Ryan, and I'm out.